Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty to work on. In fact, I'm not very good at drum kit yet. So in these practice streams, I like to share what I'm working on, how I'm trying to improve as somebody who's been drumming for almost 30 years now, and has taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student. But most of my drumming has been rudimental and concert percussion, and like less than 1% of my time on drum kit. Now, in these practice streams, you can find all 400 plus of them in this playlist on YouTube. I've got timestamps that shows what I was practicing, so you can see how I'm trying to improve, as well as like the raw mistakes that I'm making and what I'm trying to do to work through them, as well as, good morning, Milo, the questions that I'm answering. I will often edit the responses that I give on the different chats that I have on my other monitor and put them into this drumming tips playlist. There's over 14 hours of drumming tips in here, with the title being the first thing I talk about, and if it says and other drumming tips, that means there are other things in the timestamps that I'm talking about that might not at all be related to the title, so you can check those out if you're interested. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating what I'm doing to work on limb independence. So I'm specifically practicing stuff I'm not good at yet. So stay tuned for that. I need motivation, though, from Shia LaBeouf, who's going to help me to get ready to play some limb independence. So I'm going to hide Shia LaBeouf. You just got a double kick pedal? Nice, GG's. What kind did you get? We're going to hide him because of copyright. But Shia, help motivate me. Oh, we just got, today, a do it emoji in YouTube. It's now an option. Got it this morning. Yeah, achievement unlocked. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success, while you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Wow, Shia LaBeouf, I am so motivated now to practice limb independence. Okay, so on my YouTube channel and on my website, we've got over 2,000 exercises to work through, and like I said, over 14 hours of drumming tips. So my website is where it's like all organized neater. So here's where there's 62 chop exercises. Here's where there's over 1,000 grid variations. This is where I'm going to be working most of my time today, is just working on limb independent stuff, doing permutations as well as some charts. And then we've got just under 500 marching bass exercises, bunch of drumline cadences, just under 400 technique exercises, and then here's where there's 14 hours of drumming tips. I think it's like 14 hours and 11 minutes or something like that. And then all these scripted lessons, like how to hold traditional grip, I can't talk today, etc. So check those out if you're interested in it. It's also on my home tab of YouTube, but it's organized neater here on my website if you prefer that. Now, I'm working out of a book. So the book that I'm working out of, it's called 50 Ways to Syncopation. So syncopation is referring to the book called Syncopation by Ted Reed. Now, Dom wrote out 50 unique ways that you can use limb independence patterns to read through the charts or the solos at the end of Ted Reed's book. And the way that I'm developing my limb independence is largely based off of what Gary Chester outlines in the books New Breed 1 and New Breed 2. So if you're interested in learning more about those and getting those books, you can get those at /gear on my website. But the thing that I did is I took Dom's book and I put it into the spreadsheet so that way I could practice it. So, for example, a very basic limb independence pattern would be pattern number 2. So, pattern number 2 is ding, 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 ding. You play short notes on the snare drum, so 8th notes. Long notes on the bass drum. Etc. Okay, so that's a very basic way to read through some charts. But there's a lot more than just the basics in here. So this column A, is keeping track of, on average, how does it sound when I play these different patterns. So for example, pattern number 2, we can see some of the details in here, like what's my average BPM, and on average, how is the quality and how did I feel? Like, did I have fun? Was I making progress? Was it out of control, etc.? So column A will take the average of how it sounds. I'm skipping all of the ones that sound decent, like sound technically proficient, so I'm playing the ink on the page, or are musical, so I'm adding in extra timbres, textures, making it sound groovier. And I'm focusing on the ones that are meh, or needs a lot of work. So the very first one that I'm going to start off with is actually pattern number 41, which I've already pasted into here so you can see it on the screen. So pattern 41, if you're on the vertical, is this right here. And we're using this to warm up, which is something that I'm already regretting. So what is this pattern? So normally what you're supposed to do is like play it on like your floor tom, but that's my table. So I don't want to play on my table. So I'm going to play it on here, or you can play it also on the ride, however you want to do that. So all you're doing is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a... Okay, not too crazy, right? For me, the hard part is adding in this hi-hat on 2 and 4. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, see what I mean? 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. While you read through the pattern on the snare drum, whether you're going through permutations or reading through charts. Okay, so... last time when we did this at 80 beats a minute, and it was meh. So let's actually try reading through permutations just to get ourselves warmed up with this, and then we will get into some charts. So in these permutations playlists, this is the 8th note one. There's 16 videos in here, but all of these limb independence playlists has, as a second video, a video that shows you how to develop limb independence. That just kind of walks through it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick variation 1. Sure, sounds good. And then it makes it nice and blurry. Don't worry, you don't need to adjust your eyeballs. All of these play-alongs, they start slow, they go fast. This one starts at 40, and it goes all the way up to 240. So if you want to play this one faster than I can, sweet. I'm playing this at 80. So it's going to count off, and then we're going to hit drum. Yay. A 1 and 2, and a here we and a go, and... now I add in the snare. Sweet. Okay, so that went better than it did 2 days ago. But now we're going to try it not using these permutations, which are great for, you know, getting used to just the patterns and whatnot and the independence. But I'm going to try it with charts. So there's straight charts and there's swung charts. There's 55 charts at the moment. I'm going to add more in the future. And so I'm going to go into this playlist from 60 to 99. Since I'm playing this at 80, this will help me to sight read through the charts because there's so many of them, so I don't have these memorized. So I'm just going to pick like a random number, 31 through 35. Cool, my mouse is already there. Let's do it. So I go into it, I click a timestamp, 80 beats a minute. It counts me off. You can't hear the play along because it's muted on your end, but it's there. You'll hear it when you use them, when you practice with it. And then I'm going to attempt to read through the snare drum parts while playing the ostinato pattern. Wish me luck. This is quite a difficult one to warm up with. Okay, so the first line, you can improvise, you can just play the ostinato, whatever you want to do. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Can I play Nirvana? Off stream I can. This stream is a practice stream where I share how I'm trying to improve stuff I'm not good at yet, like this limb independence pattern. But there are other people who do drum covers and whatnot, but I don't do that on these streams because it violates copyright of the copyright holders of the songs. 2, ready, and a go, and... It's feeling way more comfortable than it did 2 days ago, so I'm making progress on it, which is great. All the practicing you see on stream is the practicing I'm doing, so I'm not like spending hours off stream doing this. This is actually how I'm trying to improve. 1, 2, here we go. Good morning, Dennis! Yeah, so this one that I'm working on is a difficult one. Club DJ, I do not do covers. Thank you for asking, though. Why, hello! Other people do drum covers, but I don't want to violate copyright. 1, 2, ready, and... This is a lot of double strokes on one foot. I look forward to speeding this one up, though. It'll sound cool. Okay, last chart. Then we're gonna stretch a massage, and then we'll work on an even harder pattern. 2, ready, go. No. Such a hard pattern. Okay, so it's way better than it was 2 days ago, but I'm still gonna say it's meh. It just still feels inconsistent, especially the double strokes on the bass drum. So I'm making progress on it, though. Let's see. So next time, I'm gonna try charts first. So we'll keep working on this one because it doesn't sound good yet. And once it gets to sound good, like all these other ones up here in column A, then we will skip it until we get through all 50 plus of these. Okay, cool. Let's stretch a massage. And then I'm going to come back to another one that's like even harder than the one that I was just doing. So the first stretch that I'm going to do stretches the sides of the forearms. So if you want a better camera angle of this, on my home tab of YouTube, where there's like the thousands of exercises and over like 14 hours of like drumming tips, there's a video in the drumming lessons playlist that's called This Hand Routine Saved My Drumming, and it shows you better camera angles, so you can check that stretch out if you're interested in it. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearms. It's actually fairly easy to hang the groove on real decent to my ear. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's a really cool one, and you can play it on like the floor tom too, and then it kind of sounds like double bass with like a jazz setup. But this next one, it switches it, and I can't even play it yet. I can't even do the permutations. So it's like a variation of it. So 41.1 is not in Dom's book, but it's something that like he and I talked about when I got some lessons from him. Now I'm going to stretch the top side of the forearm. I'll just do it on my leg. But the next one is just basically 8th notes on the ride cymbal, and then you're filling in 16th notes on the foot. So 1 E enda, 2 E enda. So ride, bass, just over and over, over and over as 16th notes. And then you put hi-hat on 2 and 4 while you read through the patterns on the snare drum. It's difficult. Nice, nice. Okay, now I'm stretching the fingers. I'm doing thumb to thumb. It just goes twice as fast to do it that way. Again, if you want better camera angles with like some quick explanations of how I'm doing these stretches and what I'm doing, the drumming lessons playlist on YouTube. Yeah, the bottom of my home tab has it. Okay. Now, if the patterns that I'm playing are too difficult, which totally understandable, try just doing like 3 of the limbs instead of 4, or 2 of the limbs, or maybe even just 1 of them if you're like brand new. Just try and read through the snare drum parts and do that. That's okay. We all start somewhere. I've been drumming forever and I can barely play this stuff. All right, so now I'm going to massage. So I'm doing fingers on underneath and my thumb on top. Just working my way up and down the forearm. But as long as you're like practicing the stuff that you're not good at yet, and you're intentional about it, and like consistently trying to improve it, and keeping track of it in some way through like reflections or through like journals or both, then you will slowly get better over time. if all you do is practice the stuff that's showy and that you already know how to do, then you'll be like one of those like one trick wonders where it's like, cool, you can do that one thing. Congratulations, you can play fast singles. You can't play anything else. Wah, wah. Having the versatility to play a variety of different styles, different even dynamics, different patterns, different rudiments, blah, 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 blah. All those things makes it so that you have more opportunities. It's kind of like getting more advanced degrees. It opens up more doors for you. So if you have a bachelor's degree, cool, it opens up some doors, more so than if you don't have a bachelor's degree. If you have a doctorate, that opens up some doors to be able to do some research that is inaccessible to you if you do not have your foot in that club, base the tip, etc. Can I play any songs by Kiss? Probably. I don't really listen to Kiss, but I'm sure I could. But I do not do covers of songs on these streams. This is practice streams, which I know is very different from drummers. So I'm sharing what I'm doing to continue to improve and all that stuff. I'm a part of the LGBTQ community. Yeah, my wife and I both are. And I'm a gamer. You play disco because musically it's on point. You don't really like disco, but whatever makes you better. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. There's a lot of like styles of music that it can help expand your repertoire, and like especially if you're trying to be a gigging musician, well, cool. The more styles you can play, the more gigs you can get. Like I know somebody, a former student of mine who is playing like country music, and he doesn't listen to country music or doesn't really even enjoy country music. He prefers like funk, jazz, etc., R&B, but like it's paying the bills, so he's doing it, and he's doing it well. Okay, so this next pattern, whew, this one is a little rough, so I can't even play this one yet. All you're doing is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Okay, that's it. So just straight eighth notes. Your foot fills in. And then you're playing a hi-hat with your left foot on 2 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... And I am supposed to add in the left hand, reading through the charts. Can I play that yet? No. Are we going to work on this live in front of 1 billion people? Yeah. Yeah. Be prepared for me to have myself while playing through this. Okay, so we're going to go back to the limb independence charts. So we go into my home tab of YouTube. This is where you can find things if you want to stay on YouTube. But we've got all the chop exercises here. We've got over 1,000 grid variations. There's so many you have to click to show all the playlists in here, otherwise it hides them. This is where I'm going to be practicing. Just under 500 marching bass stuff, some drumline cadences, scroll down a little more, technique exercises. This is another one where you have to click to show all the playlists. So you can work on your timing, you can work on your stick control, you can work on endurance and speed if you want to do that with your hands or your feet, whatever you want to do. There's over 14 hours of drumming tips, and then there's some drumming lessons that are scripted. These are like answering questions that people will have like during the streams. These are me recording it and scripting it instead of doing it live, so I have more time to think through what I'm going to respond with. And then if you want to see me have myself practicing stuff, you can watch over 400 episodes of that. Okay, so we're going into limb independence. Now, because I cannot do this one even remotely close yet, I'm going into the permutations here for the eighth notes. And what I'm going to do is just turn on my metronome on my drum module and set it to 80 and just sit with each one of these measures until I can like sort of play it. And then once I get to a point where like it starts to feel comfortable, then I'll actually switch to the play along and make it so I can hear it. Okay, so this is what I'm playing, and it's already going great. Sarcasm. Yeah, so the right foot timing gets messed up when I add in the hi-hat foot when I'm doing this. So that 2 and 4 on hi-hat is adjusting where the bass drum is landing with this. So it's coming in late. So I'm trying to adjust it. See that? Okay. Now, it's gonna get worse when I add in the snare drum. The more limbs you add, the more difficult it is. And the two, and the hear me, and the go. Sit with it as long as you need it. Ah! Flawless. I keep wanting to put the snare drum with the hi-hat. Stop it. Okay, now I'm going to attempt the second measure of the ones. Yeah, I keep wanting to do that. I was doing that 2 days ago, where it comes in early on the hi-hat. Ah. See, if I just have the right side of my body playing the ostinato, it's not an issue, but it's when I add in that left foot on the hi-hat where it's just too much. My brain can't comprehend it. Ugh. This is not a cover stream. This is the title. It says is practicing. So like this is me practicing. But if you have questions about playing, I'm happy to talk about it. I do know more than the thing that I'm playing right now, which I don't know very well. Better. So we're on the third measure. Nope. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a hi-hat. That messes me up. Huh. Nope. I keep wanting to put it with the bass drum when doing the offbeats. E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and it's like easier than I think because it lands the hands line up with each other, but like the thinking of the subdivision with the foot is just messing me up. Still coming in late on the bass drum. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this one. So measure 4, I need to come back to. Sometimes it's good to just like jump forward and then let your brain process it subconsciously, come back to it, focus it on it again. Basically taking a mini break from it. Nope. It is tough. I can barely even play it without adding in the fourth limb. It doesn't sound good yet. But you know, in a month, this will sound way different. And that's the like kind of timeline you gotta think about with this kind of stuff. Is this it's gonna take weeks of effort to get it to sound semi-decent consistently. A lot of like students that I work with don't have that kind of timeline. But the more successes you get practicing over time, the easier it is to see just how long it's going to actually take and how the payoff might take months or years for it to actually get better. So the larger projects that you can do that push yourself to that next level and then complete them, the bigger step you can take next. So even if it's like a 5% more complicated next time, or 5% harder or longer, etc. Good morning, Tyler. We finally got the do it emote on there. But the more you can push yourself, the easier it's going to be. So like, if I were to write a book on like pedagogy or something, which I have no interest in doing, I know I could do it because I've already written a dissertation, which was like, I don't know, almost 300 pages or something. So I know how to create something that is at that scope, that size, but it's would seem like an insurmountable task if like the most you've ever written is like a 5-paragraph essay, etc., etc. Guess what time it is? It is time for leftover sushi. Am I close? You're trying to drop triplets into that, and now you're sad. Don't be sad. Get glad. Or what is it? Don't be mad. Get glad. Oh, I don't know. I don't commercial. I had sushi the other night with my wife. It was great. Actually, really delicious. Okay. And as soon as I add in the snare drum, I mess up the hi-hat. Ah! Leftover Chinese food. Nice. They're close to each other. Well, hey, it was better. Can I do it again? I don't know. Wish me luck. Ugh. Okay, now let's try the threes. Tyler, what would you do if I, like, guessed to the T exactly what it was? Be like, do you have a camera, Jared? Of course. It's in your microwave. Okay, so I need to go back to the ones, the fourth measure. That one was the one that was not happening. It's funny how, like, the threes are easier than the twos, which are easier than the ones. Okay. I finally did it. Yeah, that was flawless, right? Let's put it on a record. No. Don't do that. It doesn't sound good yet. Let's try it with the actual play along as opposed to the metronome that I'm doing. So now I'm going to play through each measure twice. And then, fingers crossed, it sounds okay-ish. 1 and 2 and the here and the go and repeat. Here we go. No! That foot. You're playing along without the bass, ride, or that pedal? Hey, we all start somewhere. Ah! Okay. I'm just gonna say meh because like the previous ones were meh, but like it needs a lot of work. So permutations is still where I need to leave off with this, but it was like out of control, pushing my limits. But I made a significant amount of progress on that. But man, that one just messes with my brain. So the one that we just played before this, like the 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the 4, and like that's actually getting significantly better than it was when I first started it, like, what, a week ago? But this one is still definitely not good at all. So we'll keep working on it. Let's see here. So this one, what is this one? Progress, yes. I just imagine that, like, somebody who's, like, never seen me before or knows what I'm doing is like, wow, this guy sucks. Yep, it's called practicing. You are correct. Okay, so this next one, it's actually just like the one that we warmed up with. Except now you play with left, left. While you read through the pattern on the right hand, which is weird. So like normally when you're playing, like let's say you're doing like a samba or like a 4/4 over 3/4 like ride pattern, Your right hand's playing the ostinato, the thing that just keeps repeating, and you're reading with the left hand, but in this one, it whoop, flips it. So now we're going... and reading it with the right. Okay. Wish me luck on this. We're going to do it at 80. Boop. And we're going to go back to here. Yeah, let me turn on my metronome again, actually. I don't think I can, like, read through these permutations yet. Oh. Oh, that's weird. So I'm gonna try the second measure. Yeah, so I wanna do it as a like a 3-stroke in the left, but no. Huh, okay, that feels weird. My brain is getting a workout this morning. Tapping this out with your feet, but it's tricky. You think you're getting it? Sweet! Good to hear. Conceptually, like, it's not too bad. The other one was harder, I think, the one that I was just doing. But this is still gonna be rough for a while. Until I, like, build those, like, connections in the brain, it's just gonna feel super awkward. In time, it will happen. Okay, so I tried to choose, and, you know, that happened. Oh, yeah. Ugh, it feels like a weird, like, deconstructed flam tap. Huh, okay. Ugh. You know those, like, moments where, like, a reporter has been, like, live, like, reporting on something, and they have a stroke, and they all of a sudden just, like, completely shift and start going into stroke mode? I feel like this is kind of like the opposite of that. So instead of, like, deconstructing something in the brain, you're, like, seeing me, like, slowly construct something in the brain. You can, like, kind of hear the wires, like, slowly forming together and going, no, Jared, this is how it's supposed to be played. And then my hands are finally like, yeah, that's great. And then I move on to the next one, and it's just, like, completely falls apart again. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Ugh. Strangely, the downs beats are harder than the ands for me. Interesting. Yeah, it's so... That's one of the things that I love about teaching is, like, every student is different. So, like, back when I taught in a classroom and I had, like, 30 kids in a class, it'd be, like, 30 different ways sometimes that you need to teach something in order for them to all actually understand it. But then, like, some teachers would be like, well, I taught it 2 different ways. Like, it's on you for not understanding. No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's not. Welcome to teaching. It's difficult. No, you don't get paid enough, but it's difficult. Suck it up. Learn to teach more different ways. Yeah, so what's really interesting for me is I want to rush into the left hand really quickly. When doing that. Always about the 3-member bass line. Gotta teach every measure 3 different ways. Yeah, and that's called good instruction. Good teaching. That's exactly what you need to do. But there's too many instructors that don't see it that way. Especially music educators, like, not trying to throw shade. As somebody who is a music educator and has been for decades, like, there's a tendency in the field, they're so used to, especially at the high school level, having the, like, honors kids in the top, like, 5% of the school in their ensembles, and as soon as you don't fit into that mold and you require a little bit more effort because maybe you didn't start in elementary school, then they're like, oh, sorry, we don't really have a space for you. And I just think that is, like, such a cop-out. Like, that's like putting the needs of the ensemble in front of the needs of the students that you're working with. And I just really think that educators need to get over themselves. Like, it doesn't matter if it means that you're going to have, like, a lower rating at your festival. Like, don't care. You're there to teach kids, not to get a rating. I hate to break it to you. But you really got to focus on the fact that you're working with individuals as opposed to making them, like, conform and adhere to the wants that you have so you can get another trophy and put it on your wall. It's a piece of plastic. Get over it. Sorry. I got a little pointed there. I'm feeling feisty this morning, apparently. But what do I know? I'm just an award-winning music educator. Not that it shows in my playing right now. As soon as I go to the next one, the brain just, like, deassembles itself. Okay, I see how it is, brain. I can do it. I can do it. You've been going evil teacher mode recently? Having your students play everything off the left? Mm-hmm. So, I can't stress the importance of that enough. Like, here's something you can also do, Tyler, if you really want to mess with their brains, is instead of just playing it like a tenor solo off the right or off the left, like on one drum, you can also ask them to mirror it and say, okay, whatever you're doing, take it and flip it. So now it's off the left and you're playing the opposite drums of what you were just playing. Another thing you can do is say, hey, I want you to play all of the exact same rhythms, but improvise what drum you were playing on. So you'll switch to completely different drums that are like not notated that way. If there's a crossover, now you're adding in a crossover somewhere else. And that gets them to think of the rhythm and not necessarily the horizontal motion that they are moving around on. So those are like 3 ways to, 1, mess with your tenor line, but 2, to get them to think deeper about the things that they're playing, so that way they actually understand the underlying rhythms as opposed to just playing it on one drum. They're having to think of it in new, unique ways. And it just like, it takes like the idea, the rhythms, the rudiments, the phrasing, etc., and it allows you to look at it from different angles. So that way it like reinforces the concept that you're trying to teach them, whether it's solo or whatever. That's a new one. You haven't tried it before? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to practice and have myself publicly while also delivering knowledge bombs every now and then, and little rants on education and why I don't teach anymore. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this one. My brain is like mush now. This was just like 3 super hard ones in a row. So tomorrow, or no, not tomorrow. I'm not streaming tomorrow. What's it called? Thursday, 2 days from now. We will play through most likely just these 3 again. But at the end of these like drum kit streams, I like to just play one that I actually have graduated from. So that way it's just like a quick refresher of it. Let's play through a pattern. Let's do a swung one since we were just doing a whole bunch of straight charts. Let's do a swung one. I'm just kind of skimming through here to find one that looks interesting. Nope, not that one. Actually, I'll do the one that I demonstrated at the beginning. This one is just super simple, very basic, and I'll paste it on here so you can see it. All you're doing is short on the snare drum, so 8th notes on the snare drum. Anything longer than that will be on the bass drum while you're doing ging, ging, ging. And we're going to do it at, no, not at 10 BPM. We're going to do it at 1 BPM. Make sure you have continuous motion while you're doing it. You want to use a fast technique while playing slow. Okay, here it comes. Oh, I was early. Darn it. I need to keep practicing. I'm so sorry. So last time we played through this particular pattern, we did it at what? 160. Let's try it at 190. Okay, so we're going to go to the home tab. Home tab of YouTube is where you can find all the thousands of play-alongs. Whee! Chop stuff, grid stuff, limb independence. This is where we want to go. So limb independence. So inside of here, we're doing it at 190, and I'm doing swung. So I'm going to this playlist, and then you can pick whatever charts you want. Sure, 31 or 41 through 45 sounds great. You go into the timestamps, you select whatever BPM you want, 190. If you can play it at 1 BPM, you can play it at 200. Wait till April Fool's next year. Susie at 1 BPM. It's already scheduled for release. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. If you can play it slow, you can play it fast. That's not inherently true. Agreed. Yes. I totally agree with that sentiment. 100%. That was a fun one. I say as the person who wrote the chart, yeah, me. Pat on my back. Woo! Oh, well, I tell you, here we go. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh no, I read that wrong. No! That was a fun one and I read it wrong. No! Alright, let's try it. Oh, 1, 2, here we go. Read that one wrong too. I need a refund on Hooked on Phonics. Cool. In general, though, like it sounded mostly technically proficient, other than my inability to read. I was making progress on it. Yay! All right. Now, again, all these patterns that I'm working on, these numbers here. So this one was like pattern number 2. But they're all from Don Moyle's book. So this is from 50 Ways of Syncopation by Don Moyle. Highly recommend it. It's a great book. And he's a great guy. So I put it into this spreadsheet for me so I can keep track of my playing over time. And I'm focusing on the ones that I'm not good at yet. So all these ones that are technically proficient and musical, I'll review like one of them at the end of my stream like I just did. But I'm spending the vast majority of this past hour on 3 patterns that I'm not good at yet. I highly recommend the same thing for you. If you just focus on the stuff you're good at now, you will not make as much progress as if you focus on the stuff you're not good at yet right now. So really got to invest your time wisely on this. So check the ego and focus on the stuff you're not good at. And you can do that using any of these play-alongs or the 14 plus hours of tips that are on here. So if I scroll down to my home tab of YouTube, there's 14 hours of drumming tips in here from questions I've received from people that are on the different chats that I've got. There's some scripted drumming lessons. There's a few hundred drumming streams. If you want to see me have myself on stuff I'm not good at yet, because I do practice what I preach, you can check those out there. All these technique exercises, there's so many that you have to click to expand. There's a few hundred of them. More on the way. All these drumline scores. We've got a few hundred marching bass stuff. All these limb independence playlists, every single one of them has... The second video is drumming tip number 50, which is how to develop limb independence in the drum kit. So it shows you the steps that I'm doing in order to be able to develop limb independence with all these patterns from Dom's book. And then we've also got over 1,000 grid variations. You also have to click to show all of them. And then finally, all the chop stuff. If you want to find it organized neater than I can on YouTube and you want to not check out any of the gaming or any of the computer science stuff, totally understand. Just go to the first link at the top of all of these play-alongs, jaredoleary.com/drum. And that's where you can find everything organized neater than I can on YouTube. I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to get ready for some Tomb Raider. No drumming stream or gaming stream tomorrow. I have a conflict in the morning, so we're going to skip tomorrow. But we'll be back on Thursday playing through these same patterns that I'm not good at yet. So wish me luck. We'll continue to improve, slowly but surely. I appreciate everybody stopping in. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I hope you enjoy these resources. If you do, share them with somebody else. If you don't enjoy these resources, that's okay. I still love you. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.